Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are covering the Callaway Rogue ST Hybrids and Fairway Woods. We've got the Pro and the Max models that we are testing in both of them, and we've got our tester. Ian, what's the first look?
Looking forward to hitting these, RB. The driver, now we have had probably about 3 or 4 weeks of testing with our clients under our belts. I would say is the current leader in the pack. We're selling more Callaway drivers so far this year than anything else. So it's kind of whet the appetite a little bit for this one.
Yeah, and you know the thing with Callaway, especially with their hybrids, is not for the case of this test, but they do go down quite a ways in the Max model, so people are looking to combo set. But today we are specifically looking at the 3-iron hybrid, or the 3 hybrid.
3 hybrid, yeah, exactly. So we've got the 19-degree Max, and we've got the 20-degree Pro. Quite different in the look. I mean, I've played the old Callaway hybrids in the past, and when I looked at the Pro, I thought, I was definitely back home. The Max obviously has a little bit more detail with the gold around it, and then the Pro is very, very clean, very, very square at address as well. So, yeah, I expect the Max to be a little bit more draw biased, and maybe see some straighter ones out the Pro, maybe some lower spin ones as well. And then I'm really keen to try the Fairway Woods. I've just always felt Callaway have had a great recipe, a great DNA for speed. Great feel, great performance out the Fairway Woods, so keen to try those.
Yeah, I think the X Series hybrid really put them on the map with the hybrids and the Fairway Woods. Really, that when those came out, I know like you've played the X16 in the past, which I know is a really hot Fairway Wood. And one of the things that's unique about them is they're non-adjustable as well, which is why they offer so many various models, including the light. But again, we got the Pro here, and the Pro 2 I think looks more like a wood than a hybrid, right? It doesn't have quite the higher toe on it that you see with the other models.
Completely different shape. Yeah, entirely different. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I use the utility wood, so more of that kind of shape to it. Yeah, no, that's a really good catch. They don't look like they're from the same family, which I think the people who gravitate towards the Pro will be happy to see that, because they're not really looking for, as you say, the upright, kind of a little bit, it's not so much it's shut, but it is how much upright it makes the loft point left. Which is going to be good for a lot of people. We know that's the bulk of the demographic that these are aimed at.
Yeah, and you would say, like, Callaway, for you, like when you do a lot of the building and fitting, Mike, what are you seeing as far as their hybrids are concerned?
I mean, fitting-wise, to me, this is very XR16-ish. Obviously, more technology this year than what XR16 had, but for us in the fitting bay, that was our most popular line of woods that year, and very excited to see how these perform.
Awesome. Well, let's get into it.
All right, boys, what we got, 230?
230.
Oh. Let's see what we've got here. Some form of right to left, anyway. Oh, well. I mean, that is an open face one, and it's going to fly the 230 green.
You might have to move this thing back.
Yeah, we might want to move that to... I mean, probably with a bounce, the 250 one's probably fine.
Good strike.
Yep. Yeah, it's got some juice on it, hasn't it?
Flying 235, it's a big hybrid.
I remember when these first came in, I hit that Max model, and I was getting numbers close to like my 3 wood.
Yeah.
It like ball speed wise, and I couldn't believe it.
And that's the best of the bunch.
I love how high this hybrid's going right now. I mean, peak height on the last couple is like 120, 123.
Yeah.
And that is, obviously for, the spin and that we're creating right now and even launch, that peak height is awesome.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell the difference. So between the last two, interestingly, I hit the second last one thin. Ball speed was higher, but spin rate was way higher. Mm-hmm. With this one, the ball speed was still really good at 148, but the spin dropped, much further down. That's all strike related. Getting another thin one, but it masks it well.
I've said it earlier on with the drivers, the Rogue line of woods is the best sounding line of woods this year.
Yeah, I think they sound amazing. And the thing that impresses me with these hybrids is, everyone knows that Callaway makes an extremely hot fairway wood.
Yeah.
Drivers pushing the limit. And they've brought, which we saw in the Rogue ST Pro Iron, right? Like that thing was fast.
Yeah, it was really quick.
We saw even the Rogue
Yeah.
Max. You carried the water over at the Emirates.
At the Emirates on 18. I know. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They're making some of the quickest products out there right now. I think where, people will either fall into or out of this line in terms of when they test it will be in the adjustability. I think most hybrids in the marketplace, TaylorMade, they've got a bonded one. They've also got an adjustable one. Titleist, Ping, Cobra. I mean, most people have an adjustable option in there. I think to go bonded all the way through might be limiting how many people can access to this great technology, because we do like to play with lie angle, we do like to play with face angle a little bit, so maybe it is a little bit limited in terms of the demographic who can shoot at it.
But they do, like, to counter that, right? Like from their perspective, I think they offer the light, they offer the max, they offer the,
Yeah.
there's a number of different options, but from the
point.
fine-tuning adjustability in the fitting bay, you're not going to get it. Like
Yeah.
it's very plain and simple. Without the adjustability, you're not going to get that.
Yep.
But I mean, these things go like stink.
Yeah.
They really do. I'm curious about this one. This little Pro model is really handsome. Oh me. It's interesting. This one feels like it's going to go way shorter than the other one. It looks like it's got more loft and it's shorter length.
Great swing.
Nice. Now you just mentioned something there, Ian, before you hit that last shot, is the Pro versus the Max. Stock length,
Yeah,
a little bit shorter.
a little bit shorter.
And for you, again, it's a looks thing, but it's like, we're seeing a little bit more spin already. Like this is the control hybrid for the faster player versus the distance hybrid for maybe someone who doesn't have so much speed.
Yeah, I mean, we set the green for me at 235 with the hybrid, thinking that would be about right, and then end up roasting one, right over the top of it, which isn't ideal. It's nice to see. I mean, it's obviously good to see what the club's got under the hood. Lots of people who maybe don't always get up to the green with the second shot will be appreciating that little jump from time to time, that they get a little bit more out of it. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for, if anything, to fall a little bit short, not sort of go a little bit long. So to miss one 7 millimeters low, kick the spin up a little bit. Still super efficient. It's pretty good.
It's crazy how much more leftward bias it is.
Like I almost feel like I can't stop it doing that.
That face was open on that one too.
Nice swing there.
There's a bit of shape to it though, isn't there?
Yeah, it's interesting because you were seeing, maybe it's a length thing, maybe it's a head.
Yeah,
like,
maybe a length thing.
You're getting a little bit more left for yourself, right? And I think, you would expect normally to see that more right bias with like the Pro model.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see, we're seeing it with the hybrid. I'm really curious to see how this translates to the Fairway Woods. Gonna roll it on the line. We asked you to hit a little straighter.
Yeah, but it's definitely, I don't know, different. It's a different feel. It's a different, I'm catching those a little bit low in the head. Spin is kicking up way more than, on me. I mean, obviously for where I'm striking and how I'm swinging it, but it doesn't suit me personally as well as the Max, which is completely counterintuitive, isn't it?
The Max was so point and shoot for you.
Yeah, easy.
It's really impressive.
Easy. Okay, let's move into the Fairway Woods.
The interesting thing with the Callaway Fairway Woods is they have the same technology brought from the driver into the Fairway Wood, but utilized differently. So they call it the tungsten speed cartridge in the bottom there. But then they also have the jailbreak, which is something that we saw as well translate to the hybrids. And they've talked about it in their marketing. We see it with like the way they present the golf clubs. They are the ball speed company. And to kind of put that from club to club through this series, the Rogue ST series, is what we saw with the hybrid. Like the thing went crazy long, like nuts. Yeah. So to have this technology go throughout the entire line, utilized differently, of course, where it's, face of the driver is optimized differently, AI tech, each loft of every club head is optimized differently for that specific model, which goes to show that, higher lofted hybrids versus lower lofted hybrids, fairway woods versus like higher lofted fairway woods. That, to me, is probably the most interesting element of that. And I'm curious to see how it plays out in these fairway woods, because we've got, much like the hybrids, two very different models.
different. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, obviously, the LS is the one I would gravitate towards. I love the look of it. I mean, it just looks a bit flatter. I like the traditional face with the grooves all across the face. It looks really, really clean. If I could be picky, I'd probably just take out the detail around the back. I just think, going, kind of flat grey with the carbon would look tremendous, but it does look good.
That's a really good sounding fairway wood.
Yeah, it does sound good.
Great swing.
I said it when Mike was testing the players' irons, but we're going to have to move the screen back.
Where did that one fly?
260, yeah.
I love the way those numbers are coming out, though, like 13 launch and just under 3,100 in the spin. Obviously super efficient. I mean, anything kind of coming up towards 160 ball speed is doing very, very well. Wasn't a very good strike, boys, but I'm curious to see what it's
Get in.
Go in.
what it's going to do. 240. Snuggle up, snuggle.
We've been close. Roasted.
Definitely wins the best sounding fairway wood of the year. Early call, best sounding fairway wood.
Yeah, it's good. It's a really good one. More of the flight I would expect. The Pro just something about that, wasn't it? It was a bit different.
Yeah.
We didn't quite get the performance we expected, but this is right on point.
Yeah.
This thing.
Great swing.
I would say you mentioned sound immediately on the Pro, or the LS, sorry. This one is slightly higher pitched.
Yep.
I think it goes towards like the player that it's targeting. We've talked about
Definitely.
acoustics in the past, like the players' irons versus the more game improvement
Yep.
stuff. This one just it sounds hot. Like,
Yeah.
It sounds really good.
It does.
Great swing.
Yeah, it's interesting. These max heads to me don't feel particularly like game improvement, draw bias. Like they're more neutral than I expected them to be. I thought I'd be kind of slinging them over, but I don't seem to be finding that with them.
I mean, I know it's only a couple shots, but again, I'm gonna go back to that point and shoot comment. It just looks very easy the way you're striking the max versus an LS. Now, again, obviously not as forgiving the LS,
Yeah.
but this just looks, you can keep everything online so much easier.
Healy one.
What's the spin say on the quad there?
38.
Still pretty good.
Yeah,
Little
for how low it
miss, and
was.
it still stays up.
Definitely. Giving you some different strikes to look at here.
Yeah.
Kind of trying to put the speed a little bit into it, and it's...
Say the different strikes across the face, and it's not hugely different, but the odd toe one or maybe a low heel,
Yeah.
you don't really sacrifice much spin, which is nice.
Definitely. Kind of dial it back a little bit there, not...
Put it in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, it's very friendly. It's very, very friendly.
Now, you had mentioned, and I think this is an interesting thing to point out, is the fact that these fairway woods, like two different models,
Yeah.
both ideally have been built around your golf swing.
Yeah.
So that's where, although they are two various models, you're going to get obviously great performance out of both of them, but performance catered to your game because of the shaft that's in
Yeah.
it already, right? And I think that's a really important one to take away because, you'd expect to see extremely different numbers. Because they've been fit, we are seeing different numbers, different looks, different preferences, different sounds. But because of the way they've been tailored, allows us to look at the numbers and really dive into, okay, how do they really perform against each other versus just saying like, okay, here are two models and see how they work.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm impressed. I really am. They've kind of overachieved a little bit in what I kind of thought they were going to do for me. The type of fairwood I've been playing, Sim 2, Rocket 13.5, turn down, what's mine playing? 12.75. So, it's low. So, to see how good these are controlled launch and spin, very neutral in the flight, it's good.
So as we expected, we see a little bit more ball speed out of the Max versus the Pro, which there's a couple different reasons to look at that. One is a little extra length in the golf club. But again, lower spinning, which is kind of surprising and exactly what we kind of expected. Is there's a lot of speed out of that thing and a lot of yardage built into that hybrid. And I think if someone is looking for very much a distance hybrid or maybe a control club off the tee, the ST Max is stupendous. Now, this is where we're going to get a little bit more particular, because looking at the LS versus the Max, we're seeing that the LS has, as it's advertised, lower spin. Ball speed almost exactly the same. Launch a little higher with the LS compared to the Max, which I think is interesting. But that lower spin, which is at your club head speed, resulting in something that is carrying 5 yards further. We're seeing a little bit larger variance in the standard deviation. But at the end, the total versus, again, that 7 yards of standard deviation at 270, that's still a long way for a 3-wood.
Yeah, it is. It's quite interesting when you see the averages. Kind of felt like I was hitting it pretty decent, but you do see a little bit the element of why I play an adjustable fairway that opens up, and also why I play one that has twist face, because I hit it in the toe and it slings over a little bit. So that's what I don't get away with when I lose those kind of elements to the design.
No, I think overall, they do as advertised. They offer a ton of ball speed, a ton of forgiveness. I think with the Rogue ST, as far as your long game is concerned, all of them offer great options, and they're great ones to look at. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please use the comment section below. As we always say, let us know what you want us to test and how you want us to test it, because it's important to get your feedback and allow us to dive into the numbers and see what works for us, our own games, as well as yours. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching.